Hello, welcome to PCTI NIOS Facilitation Center presentation. This presentation will talk to you about the various sets of agreement in this module, and in this presentation I would also introduce you to the process of PCTI NIOS Facilitation Center. In this presentation, I would like to introduce you to the process of PCTI and NIOS Facilitation Center. This would clear all the doubts that you have in your mind before signing an agreement. What is to be done, what are the rights and the duties of this facilitation center, all this thing would be clear in this module. But before I proceed to this module, I would like to specify certain acronyms that is known as lexicons in this module. In this module, there are very common terminologies that I would be using during this presentation. And this terminology first is NIOS. As I stated earlier, NIOS is nothing but a National Institute of Open Schooling. The second terminology that I would be using in this module is PCTIES. And the third terminology that I would be using is PNFC. Let's understand in details what are all these three. As I said earlier, NIOS would be stated here is National Institute of Open Schooling. PCTIES here stands for PCTI Education Society. PNFC stated over here would be PCTI NIOS Facilitation Center. But before we proceed to the next slide, let me explain you how this agreement is tied up between the Facilitation Center and the PCTI Education Society. Primarily, this agreement covers the three aspects, and the first aspect in this agreement, which is called as the first set of agreement, would be the first part, that is your submission of admission form. The second set of agreement that we cover in this is submission of examination form, and the third set of agreement that we cover is result or scorecard or your marks card. So these are the three sets of agreement that you would be signing by becoming a facilitation center. Let us understand the process flow for PCTI and NIOS Facilitation Center. In this process, there are 9 steps. We would understand one by one all these steps in details. The first step or the process flow is the PCTI Education Society will offer you an agreement. This is called as Facilitation Center Agreement. It will be given to all the associate who is interested in signing a facilitation center or becoming a partner to this project. After you have signed this agreement, you would be sending back this agreement to PCTI Education Society. Once we receive this agreement from you, what we would do is we would allot you a facilitation center code. This code is very important for you because after receiving this code, you would be recognized as PCTI NIOS Recognized Facilitation Center. This code will give you a status of a recognized PCTI NIOS Facilitation Center. As I stated earlier, there are 3 sets of services that agreement covers, and these 3 sets are, the first set that we are talking about here is the submission of your admission form. You would be submitting the admission form to NIOS. You would also be authorized to submit examination form of the student to NIOS, and you would also be helping us in disclosing the results and the scorecard to the student. This is our 4th step in this process flow, and the next step what we are talking about is authorization again, that PNFC, that is PCTI National Institute of Open Schooling Facilitation Center, will be authorized to provide all the services to its center as stated earlier. After you have been authorized, PCTI will provide you a format of banner that you would be putting near your facilitation center. This would be provided by us, that is PNFC, to all its centers. Once you receive this banner, you will place this banner at a prime location where it is visible for all the students or the people who are passing there. After this, PCTI will also issue you a minimum of 100 control numbers. Remember, these control numbers are very important because this control number serves in a two purpose, that is PCTI shall issue a minimum of 100 control number, each of these facilitation centers for the two services. Remember, this facilitation center, the control number what you have received would avail you or help you in two services. One is admission form and the examination form that you need to be submit as per the fees. That is what it says. PCTI shall issue minimum 100 control number each to the PNFC for two services. As I stated earlier, the first is admission form and examination form submission, and as per the fee sharing decided between PCTIs and PNFC. The next process is PCTI Education Society shall also provide all the facilitation center with the format of the stamp that you need to impose on all the forms being submitted to PNFC. Any form that is submitted by PNFC to NIOS will consist of stamp which has been provided. The format of the stamp will be provided by us. Remember, that would be an identification of the form that it is from PNFC, that is PCTI NIOS Facilitation Center. And the last part of this process flow is all facilitation center shall deposit the required fee to PCTI Education Society account as the format would be provided by you. Once again, I would repeat, the first process what we are talking about is we will offer you an agreement for the facilitation center. You will sign that agreement and we will sign. So once we have signed, both of us, it becomes an authorized or recognized PCTI NIOS facilitation center. Once you are becoming you have recognized as a facilitation center, this agreement covers in the three aspects the services you would be providing to the student in the three aspects. First is for submission of all admission form. Second is for submission of all examination form, and the third is assisting in the disclosing the results and the scorecards. And after you have authorized for these three services, we will provide you a banner which you need to place at your facilitation center, and after with this we will offer you 100 control numbers for your facilitation center, and this control number is given for the two process. One is admission form and the examination form submission, and as per the fee agreed by us. You will also be provided with a stamp design or the format that you need to prepare the stamp and you to fix on all the forms that you submit to the PNFC to NIOS. And this stamp will play an important role because this will identify you as the facilitation center as per your code. And the last step is you will deposit all the required fees to the respective accounts which would be prescribed to you from time to time. I am sure this has clarified you entire the process of PCTI NIOS Facilitation Center opening. Any questions? You can write back to us and we would be delighted to reply you shortly. Thank you. All the best. Take care.